Okay, let me show you how to go viral. I know this is not going to be one of those over edited, super fast paced, stimulating videos, but I go viral all the time and I teach my students to go viral all the time. And I've got 3 pages of notes and it's all very valuable, straight to the point stuff. So, just so you feel really clear that I know what I'm talking about and you feel like this is going to be worth your time, this is the tutorial to go viral. Here's 4 of my students, and I picked students who are in non business industries, non Instagram industries, like totally random industries. And they all have gone viral. So you can see here, like Lindsay helps rodeo athletes get recruited, and I taught her to get a reel with over 1 million views. And Kylie is a relationship coach, and she got 2 million views on that one. Candace got 1 million views on her reel, and it was literally on like digestive health. And then Coach Bernice is like a career coach, basically. And so, again, these are just 4 that I put together. Happens all the time. I've had a self defense, like women in self defense students go viral, and parenting coaches go viral, like my students go viral. And I usually like, I've taught them like sort of individually, but I've never sat down and actually taught someone like in a tutorial like this how to go viral. And so what I did is it literally took me like 2 hours to write this all out for you, but it's the manual, the guide for going viral. And so I'm just going to take it section by section. And my advice to you is watch this whole thing in its entirety so you understand how to go viral. When you're done with this video, you'll have a very holistic understanding of like what it takes to go viral, and then you can start actually implementing everything. So watch the whole thing, especially towards the end. There's a lot of resources that I want to give you and show you at the very end of this video to just help take the information and make it very easy to actually implement. Okay, so first things first, we want to define viral versus viral for you, or FVY, viral for you. I think people aim for the wrong thing. When they try to go viral, they just try to go viral. I think what you need to do is I know what you need to do is go viral for you. So let me see if I can grab a pen and just like illustrate the difference here. Okay, we'll do this on the back of this, on this Post-it. Okay, so when you're going, see if I can put this on my face. When you're going viral in general, this is what your account looks like. All of a sudden you have this big random spike, right? We don't want a big random spike like this. I would much rather you have something like this, where you go like that. I don't know if it's like focusing on that, but you can kind of see where it's like, it's gradual spikes that are very consistent with growth. Meaning, if you're interested in going viral to gain an audience and make money, which most people are, one random reel that gets 15 million views and is never repeated isn't very helpful, isn't very monetizable, isn't very useful. It is so much better to learn how to consistently have reels that do much better than your average or viral for you. Because when you know how to make reels go viral for you, it's very repeatable and you can actually use it to do things with, AKA monetize. So what I want to do in this, I don't know how to teach you how to go randomly viral and have a cute cat video that gets 15 million views. I don't know how to do that. That's not very predictable. What I do know how to do is I do know how to teach you how to consistently have reels that pop off or do so much better than your average reel views. That's what I want to show you how to do in this video. So if you're expecting to have like one reel that goes super viral and you can never repeat it, that's not very helpful for anything. It's much better if we know how to trigger the algorithm to consistently spike your view count. So for example, if I usually get 50,000 views per reel, knowing how to get 1 million views per reel is going viral for me, right? Versus like 15 million or 30 million is just a viral reel. I'm much more interested in teaching you how to go viral for you. So the obvious next question then is, what is viral for you? Okay, so what's viral for Maria, who has 250,000 followers on Instagram as of the time of filming this. It'll probably be much more tomorrow and much more the next day. Because that's how it goes when you know how to consistently go viral. What's viral for me is going to be very different than what's viral for you. And so I thought a lot about this question, right? Because it's very relative person to person. And so easy napkin math, don't hold me to this, but easy napkin math is 100 times what you normally get on a reel. And so I wrote down here, if you usually get 300 views on a reel, getting 30,000 views would be going viral for you. So I think that, so basically 100x. So for you right now, as you're listening to this, think about what on average are my reels getting. If they're getting 200 views per reel, then a 20,000 reel would be viral for you. And your goal would be to make reels that consistently get more than 20,000 or more views as your spikes, right? So here's one note that I will say if you are a bigger account, right? Like for me, the 100x viral for you rule, right? So like 100 times the views you normally get, I think it can decrease as you get more views and get more followers. So right now, 100x for me would be 5 million views on a reel versus 1 million views in a reel. I'm still very happy with my 1 million views because that's not a bad thing. But maybe, on the flip side, I should be aiming higher and I should be aiming for 5 million views, right? Like with 250,000 followers, it's not unrealistic to 100x my views and say, I need to be making reels that get 5 million views as my peak. So who knows, right? Like I can only speak to what I do know how to do, and I consistently know how to get views in the $1 million per 1 million views per reel range. It's a tongue twister. So right now at this stage, what you want to do is write down, or just in your head, if you're, maybe you're driving your car or something and you shouldn't be writing, but think about for yourself right now, okay, my target, I'm going to start implementing what Marie's got 3 pages of stuff for me to actually go viral for me. But my target for going viral is 100 times what I currently get. So obviously then the next question is, where do I actually start? How do I actually start that process of going viral for me? Now, if you're watching this and you don't have any content made yet, you're brand new to having an Instagram account, you haven't really made any reels yet, you're new to all of this, skip this step. Because what this next step I'm going to do is teach you how to audit your current content, to know how to leverage your current content to go viral. You can just skip this step and go on to the next one. Because if you haven't made any content yet, this is not going to apply to you. But if you have made content, what you're going to want to do is go back. We're going to do this together, okay? Start with the 5 videos that got the most views, okay? Even if it's only a slight margin. So let's say you have a really small account and you're getting on average 200 views per reel. And you go back and you look at your top 5 videos, and your top 5 videos have 250 views instead of 200 views. So if you're just getting started, your margin might be really slight. It might be the difference between 800 views on average and you had 1 or 2 pop off that got 1,500 views, right? It doesn't matter. Part of learning how to consistently go viral is to find what I call your leverage points. And that's what we're going to do together. Essentially, what we're going to do is start writing down the commonalities between those top 5 reels that popped off. And what we're trying to do is understand why did they pop off? So we're going to do this together with some of mine. I put together some of my bigger reels, and we're going to look at why they popped off. And there's lessons that you can learn from my reels that you can just start implementing right now for your reels. So let me pull them up here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just start opening these up and we're going to look at them together. So we did these in order of, I believe, I had an assistant put this together for me, and I think she did it in oldest to newest. So there's the first one. We're going to note everything. We're going to note the caption. We're going to note the text. Then we're going to do Okay. So we're going to start looking at the commonalities between, we'll do my top 5. Okay, so we'll pull up 2 more and then we'll look at these and I'll start listing out the common things that I see. Again, these are all you can see here. These, you can see the view count here. So they're in the $2 million to $1 million range. I have never cracked 5 million. So if you've had a reel that got more than 2 million plus views, you did more than I did. Okay, so these are my top 5. Couple things that come up for me right away, a couple commonalities. One, there's 2 of them that have the POV perspective. So POV, you just found blank, you took good notes, and it worked. These reels are almost exactly the same, and they both went viral. So I used, again, it's pitching different things, but essentially it's saying the same thing, right? In one case, it's a PDF. In another case, it's a YouTube video. But these are both POV talking about how to go viral. I'll give you a hint right now. Every single one of these reels, the biggest commonality is the social proof, meaning I've accomplished something amazing and I'm talking about it. I've created something remarkable and I'm talking about it. It's social proof. Maria is someone who knows what she's talking about. So for you, and again, this is for Maria and Maria's industry. But what we're trying to do is look at all of these bird's eye and find the commonalities. So this one and this one are very similar. They're Instagram monetization topics. Obviously talking about different things. The caption in this one, and the little thing I noticed is like the here's how on these 2, right? Like with the little arrow. So you can see here, this one has that little like, here's how, and then it's a really fat caption, and then same thing here. So that's similar. Every one of these has footage of my face. That's an obvious one. I noticed that what's very interesting is that 4 out of the 5 are like inside my house, and 3 of the 5 are inside my house. 4 of the 5 are inside in general, and only 1 is outside on the beach, which is interesting because normally I always think my outside reels do better, but that's actually not holding up. So what you would do is this. You just like go look at your top 5 and you start to figure out the patterns. Why did these reels do so well? You can see here's another one that I have pinned to the top that also did really well. And it's along the similar line. So that one would have come up here. So that's what you're going to do. That's step 3. Yeah, and I actually let me switch back to my face because there's just some stuff here that I wrote down preemptively wanting to share this with you. Let's flip back here, turn off my circle. So here's what I wrote. Start writing down the commonalities between the videos. Let's get the focus back on me. So annoying. It like focuses on the heads in the background. Start writing down the commonalities between the videos. And then here's what I think you need to know if you want to go viral for you. Every time I have gone viral, it is because I created something very remarkable. Like at its core, you only go viral if you're doing something exceptional, something remarkable. Every time, if you look at anything that goes viral, it's for one reason or another, it stands out and it's remarkable in the truest sense of the word remarkable, like something to pay attention to. Like I'll just ask, like Siri, hey Siri, what's the definition of remarkable? Worthy of attention, striking, right? So like a reel that goes viral is because it's remarkable, because it's worthy of your attention. And so every time I've gone viral, it's like the spoiler alert for you. Every time I've gone viral, it's because I created something that was very remarkable. All 5 of those were remarkable. Sometimes the remarkable thing was a freebie that was so good they had to have it. That was the one with the 60-page freebie guide. Sometimes the remarkable thing was my own business success that I referenced, right? The like how I make $1 million every 10 weeks. By the way, if you ever don't believe how much money I make, you can just go to my income proofs. They're on my website. I make right now, currently as the time of filming this, $400,000 every single month. And it's just been, again, remarkable. So sometimes the remarkable thing was my own business success that I referenced. Sometimes the remarkable thing was how much FOMO, fear of missing out, I was able to create with one sentence. At the end of the day, though, everything is remarkable, and that's why it went viral. And so that is the summary. And so the rest of this video is going to be teaching you how to make remarkable content, how to make remarkable reels, because at the end of the day, if you want to go viral, it has to be remarkable or it won't. And that's it's obvious, obviously. But when you pull back and you look at the bird's eye view, it's oh, well, that's why it went viral. It's because it stands out. If my reels aren't standing out, of course they're not going viral. Of course they're not getting views. So then the question becomes, what would be so remarkable that your people, who are the people that you want to be watching your reels, what would be so remarkable your people would stop in their tracks to watch it? They would have to watch it. And so I find, in my opinion, the answer to that question is hard to execute. It's hard to make remarkable content. It's hard to achieve remarkable things, right? But it's far more reliable. I guarantee you will go viral if you have remarkable achievements. People, when they want to go viral, what they want is what's the hashtag or what's the hook, right? But in my experience, it doesn't work that way, and it doesn't work that way reliably. Remember, at the very beginning of this video, I said, we don't want you to have one dog video that gets 15 million views and you never can repeat it again. Or we don't want one thing you did to go viral. We want you to understand how to consistently trigger the algorithm to send you lots of views and send you lots of followers so you can make lots of money. That's our goal. And so we do that by doing the hard things most people are not willing to do. Most people are not willing to do the work to create remarkable achievements, which then become remarkable reels, which stop people in their tracks. It's not easy. So for example, I'll give you a great example. One of my viral reels you saw is a 60-page guide to how I got 100,000 Instagram followers. I mean, this thing is freaking beefy. It's double printed. So this is 120 pages, but the entire guide is 60 pages. It's not to sit here and write, and mind you, if you look at the text, it's wall-to-wall text, okay? So this is freaking incredible, but it's not easy to create a 60-page guide to getting 100,000 followers, right? First of all, getting 100,000 followers is remarkable in its own right. A 60-page wall-to-wall text guide to doing that isn't bullshit and is real, actual, I'm looking at, but these are real tutorials. If you look at the table of contents on this, it's my magical 3x9 formula. That's a good one. How to go from 100 views to 1,000 views per reel in 9 days. How I always know how to go viral. That's kind of a little bit of what I'm talking about here. Don't do this if you want your reels to go viral. How to grow if you don't want to make reels. Again, this is a really good freebie. And it's not easy to make it. And it's even more remarkable that I give it away for free, but it's remarkable. And that's why I went viral. And so, by the way, I feel like I need to clarify. The answer to you going viral is not to make a 60-page guide. I don't want you to think that's the takeaway. The takeaway is to answer the question, what would be so remarkable my people that I want to attract would stop in their tracks and watch it? So that's what I want you to do right now. I want you to stop and think, what would be so remarkable that my followers or the people that I want to be followers would stop in their tracks to watch? And that question is going to take you to some very interesting mental places. So, if you make parenting content, what would be so remarkable? What reel or hook or visual would be so remarkable parents would have to stop in their tracks to watch it? And by the way, if you need help with this, you can actually get ideas from ChatGPT. I have a prompt for you. I'm going to show you how to do this, because in case you are I have no freaking clue, Maria, I have a prompt for you. Okay, let's pull up ChatGPT. Okay, here's the prompt. I make content on, and then you insert your niche, right? So I'll just put like business and social media growth. That's what I do, teach people how to grow on Instagram, make money. I want ideas. This is what you would put into ChatGPT, by the way, for viral reels. But where I put in business and social media growth, you put in like what you make content on, in case that wasn't clear. Okay, then this is like where the chat prompt matters. I am looking for ideas that are very unique and show stopping. Again, like we're telling ChatGPT we want. What would be so remarkable? I would say like content creators and business owners would stop in their tracks, excuse my spelling, to watch my reels. This is, again, an important prompt. Give me 20 unique and advanced. Always ask ChatGPT to give you advanced ideas. Do not give me basic or typical ideas. Pull inspiration. I'm spoiling a hint, by the way, for later. From industries not related to business and social media growth. So you're telling ChatGPT, do not give me real ideas that are like every other business and social media growth. Okay. All right. So let's put this prompt in here. By the way, typically the longer the ChatGPT prompt is, the better results you get. Yeah, these are super interesting. Some of these are good, some of these are not good. I like this one, for example. Film a serene underwater scene with calming music, then overlay captions like, this is how your business feels with automated income streams. Okay, so this is really interesting because this is not what you would immediately think. But right away, what I love about this is so different than what you usually see. So right now, when I read this, my mind is saying, okay, we need the viewer to feel the peace and calm that I do feel with all the automated income because I make a lot of passive income. And so for me, that feeling of peace and serenity is incredible, and it's hard to convey with words. And so for me, this automatically, some of these are shit. And that's kind of the thing with ChatGPT is like some of these ideas are bullshit, but some of these are really good. The other thing that you can do is put this prompt in and test it both ways. Take out the last bit and see what else comes up. And again, tweaking one thing about the prompt completely changes the things that you get. So I personally, again, this is where the remarkable comes in. It takes effort to not do the expected. But the remarkable thing is the thing that stops people in their tracks, has them expecting one thing and then getting another. And those are the reels that go viral for me. So I highly recommend you use ChatGPT. Again, lots of great ideas. Yeah, I mean, these are really good. Myth busting advice. These are good basic ones. They're not as remarkable as some of the other ones, but they're still good. Like sometimes it's not a bad thing to do more basic things. So if you are stuck and you can't think of what would be remarkable, what would stop them in their tracks, ChatGPT is your best friend with that stuff. Okay, so I spoiled the next one a little bit, but I do want to elaborate on it because I think it's really important. This is the biggest mistake content creators make. When they're trying to go viral, when they're looking for inspiration, you must find video inspiration in other industries. Video inspiration meaning inspiration for your videos, like the actual videos that you take, the ideas themselves, the words you use. The biggest mistake content creators make is they only pull video inspiration from their industries. And the problem with that is all you do is create content that is the same tired, boring content that everyone else is making. Every viral reel that I have ever made was inspired by a fashion reel or by a parenting reel or by a cooking reel. I almost never pull content ideas from my own industry because I know that it's not going to serve me. And that is why one of the biggest compliments that I get on my content, by the way, is how refreshing it is, how transparent it is, how unique it is. It's very different than the average business and social media content. And it's because it's super different from everyone else. And I have a note here I want to show you. I don't remember which reel I'm referencing, but in here I say loose example, and I want to show you the example. So let me pull this up. Because if I put this in my notes as wanting to show it to you, it's for a reason. So let me pull this up. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So my this is a good one. Where my POVs were inspired by. Okay. So this isn't the exact, that's why it says loose example, because this wasn't the exact example. But my POVs, like how we pulled up all of these reels and it was like, POV, you just found the YouTube video that's showing everyone how to go viral. They were inspired by reels like this. POV, you can't stop watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like, again, by the way, I don't like to recommend that show, but it's very interesting. If you've watched it, you know. And so, like, again, you can, if we go back to this one, like, you can see now this video was made before Secret Lives of Mormon Wives came out, but it's the same idea. It's the same style. I'm sure it was about a different TV show or something like that. Has nothing to do with business, has nothing to do with social media growth. It has nothing to do with my industry. And that's why it did so well. It got like 2 million views or something like that. 1 or 2 million. And so as you seriously, just like as you scroll Instagram, as you go to reels, as you just like swipe through, find the ones that are not related to your industry. Like, again, this has nothing to do with my industry, but like, how can you take that and make it work for your industry? I'm always looking for inspiration from other industries. And I think that alone, if that's the only thing you take from this video, if that's it, if the only thing that you do to go viral is pull inspiration from content that isn't your niche, you will automatically stand out in your niche because everyone else is making the same old tired content. Okay. Now, let's take a minute because I've dumped a lot of information on you and I want to help you breathe and feel that this is manageable and sort of like ramp our way up to going viral. And a really good way to doing this is to ask ourselves, not how do we go 0 to 100, not how do we go from 200 views to 20,000 views, because that puts a lot of pressure on yourself, right? If you've been consistently getting 200 views and I'm saying, oh, go make reels that get you 20,000 views, the honest reaction most people would have if they're normal is to be like, okay, well, now I'm overwhelmed and I'm going to make no reels because this whole thing is so paralyzingly overwhelming. I'm not going to make any reels at all. And so I get that because I'm the exact same way, like in my own way. And so what I have found to be really helpful is to ask myself, not how do I get, 5 million views? I ask myself, what would make this 5% more visually engaging? So I'm going to repeat the question. What would make this 5% visually more engaging? And so we don't want to try to make every reel the best reel known to mankind. I know maybe some creators or some gurus would say, every reel has to be your best and beat your last performance. And honestly, that's a great recipe for burnout, in my opinion. I think what you need to ask yourself is what would make this 5% more visually engaging? So we're not going to make every reel our very best reel, but there are some small, easy things that we can do to make it a bit better. So I'm going to give you a hint, okay? This is something very bizarre that I've taught my students, but do you want to know why I have the back of my wall like this, and specifically why the back of my wall is blue? It's because the color blue in reels does better. And let me tell you, I thought I invented that rule. Like I thought I came across the rule of blue, if you want to call it that, and how it does so much better in videos. I thought I like made that up. Then I was reading an old book on advertising from the 50s. And the freaking author of the advertising book said, by the way, be sure to include the color blue a lot because it does better. So here I am just re-stumbling on an ancient advertising truth, which is the color blue performs better. For whatever reason, humans like to look at the color blue. We like blue. Maybe it's because we're 70% water. I don't know. We just like to look at blue. So a really easy practical thing you can do is in your reels, have the color blue. Like that could be your 5% thing better is like wear a blue shirt. I'm not saying you need to go paint your wall blue, but maybe film stuff with the sky in it. Or if you find a blue wall in your town, go film stuff in front of the blue wall. Or maybe instead of having a purple water bottle, put a blue water bottle in there. Like you can do little things to add the color blue. That's something you could do to be 5% better. In general, bright colors pop more than dull muted colors. So if you're a millennial gray, your millennial gray home is going to blend into social media. If you're a beige mom, your beige toys and your beige clothes are going to blend into social media. Not saying you have to go be a maximalist and change everything about your house. It's just be aware that bright colors do better on social media than dull muted colors do. Generally speaking, unless you're Kim Kardashian, and then you can post as much muted colors as you want to. 2, better lighting. Can I show you what my lighting is? Like this lighting looks so amazing. I know it does, but can I show you what it is? I don't think you're ready for how janky this is. It's a ring light with a pillowcase on it. And the reason it's got a pillowcase on it is because the pillowcase diffuses and spreads the light to make it look more natural. So that's like, I'm filming this with a webcam and a ring light with a pillowcase on top. Super easy. The ring light was like less than $30. I think it was like $29. And the pillowcase was already in my closet. So you don't need fancy lighting equipment, but you can get better lighting, and that makes a really big difference. If the only thing you did was make better lighting and that was the 5% you focus on, your reels would do better. People don't like to look at fuzzy, grainy videos of humans. They like to look at brightly lit videos of humans. Maybe it's because we're scared of the dark. I don't know. And then another thing that you can do is focus on having a visual hook. So, you've probably seen creators, and you've probably heard of this too. So I'm going to not spend too much time on this one. But opening a can of seltzer water and that crack of a can opening, people pay attention to that. Putting lip gloss on your lips, buckling yourself in a car or unbuckling it, tying your thing like this, like a little part of your clothes, or buttoning up something as you're talking. All of that are visual hooks. Putting earrings in. Our brains like to see the completion of a task. And so if you start a task like buttoning up your shirt or adding an earring, it's a visual hook. It hooks people in and they want to watch their brain almost subconsciously sticks around to see the task completed. That's also why power washing videos do so well, is our brains get so satisfied seeing the fully clean sidewalk or whatever it is. And so small things that you can do to make your video 5% better. And 5% is small enough to be doable. And so what I do is every so often I ask myself, what can I do to make these videos 5% better? And sometimes, I'll tell you right now where I'm at, I'll just be really transparent. I have been creating content now very consistently for a very long time. And the thing that my content needs, because I've been so in a rhythm with it, is creativity. My videos need to be 5% more creative. And so I don't know, that means something different for every reel. But the thing that my reels need right now is 5% more creativity. So that could be a little bit of a different visual than I've ever done before. Or I've started taking different pictures of myself than I normally do. Wearing different clothes than I normally do. And just experimenting with more, I'm wearing this long, I don't know if you can see it, but this long skirt. Because it's just different than something. It's just different and it's more creative and it makes me feel more feminine. And that's what my videos need right now. And so again, all of that to say, it is not 0 to 100. It is not 200 to 20,000. That will be the result of enough videos being 5% improved. The actual tangible thing that you're going to work on, the very concrete thing, is answering the question, what would make this 5% more visually engaging. All right, let's talk about haters now. Because what's going to happen? I hate to break it to you, but what's going to happen is when you go viral, you are going to get trolls and you are going to get skeptics. Okay? Those are two different things. So we like to throw around the words like haters and trolls, but I feel like skeptics and trolls are two different things. Trolls should be ignored. Trolls are people who just wake up and choose violence. They hate everybody. They hate themselves. Honestly, that's like the sad thing is like they hate themselves. And so they have enough free time to go around and just like spread hate on the internet. That in my mind is very different than a skeptic. Trolls should be ignored. Skeptics can be won over, and I love doing it. I love winning over my skeptics. My skeptics, for the most part, just sharing with you guys, my skeptics, for the most part, don't believe that I make $400,000 a month. That's the thing that I get the most is like, you are a liar. You are a scam artist. Show me proof that you make $400,000 a month, which I get, right? Like, okay, sure, it's a lot of money a month. Even when I clarify that my profit margins are 60% of 40,000, they don't believe I'm taking home 60% of 40,000. And skeptics don't hurt your feelings any less than trolls, by the way. Like, I have been doing this for 11 years and I am still the most sensitive little crybaby snowflake. I hate the hate comments. I hate the critiquing comments. I hate getting skeptics. I hate it. It hurts my freaking feelings. Just being real. And it's not gotten easier. I've gotten more used to it, but it has not gotten easier. And so with the skeptics, what I try to do is cut down the bullshit by sharing my income proofs. That like right away is like the most helpful thing. Is like, okay. And like, God bless the skeptics, because I used to just share like me telling people what I made. And then they're like, we want screenshots. So then I started preparing screenshots. Then they were like, we want video walkthroughs. Then I started doing video walkthroughs of my like dashboard where I make my money. Then they wanted bank statements. So now I'm sharing bank statements as proof. Now they want tax statements, whatever it's called, where like your tax filings. So this year when I file taxes, I'm going to be sharing my like taxes for the year, and that'll like really break it down. After that, they're going to want to come to my house and log into my bank account and like look with their own eyeballs. Like, I don't know. But however, I will say, for the most part, the skeptics are won over by my bank statements, especially now that I'm sharing like the bank statements, right? The income proofs, especially now that I'm sharing the bank statements. It does tend to stop them pretty much in their tracks. The other thing I get a lot of crap for online from the skeptics, not the trolls, is that they accuse me of not donating money. There's this cause and you should be giving to it, and you have all this money. And I tell them, like, I literally give away 30% of my profits. Again, it stops them in their tracks. They might just not know. So generally speaking, skeptics can be won over by having additional information. And I love winning my skeptics over because then they tend to become very loyal followers. And so what's going to happen is you're going to get more skeptics as you start sharing your remarkable thing, because that's the whole point. If you're sharing remarkable things, if you're sharing remarkable achievements, people will not believe it because it's so remarkable. And so as you share more remarkable things, you will get more skeptics, and you need to get a sense of like what they're not liking or what they're not believing. Is there a common pattern to their accusations? If there is a common pattern to their accusations, can you come up with one quick one-liner that ends the conversation, like a polite script? We want to be classy. We want to be graceful. We want to be loving. We want to be empathetic of the fact that they can't wrap their mind around what you've accomplished. And that's not a reflection of you. That's a reflection of them and the ways that we can love and empathize. Like just using my income, for example. I deeply and dearly empathize with every person who does not believe that I make $400,000 a month, because I understand that it is a mind-boggling amount of money, and I hold space for their own lack of belief. And so I'm not angry. I'm not hateful. I'm not judgmental. I'm not rude. I just say, hey, look, I get it. I didn't believe that I could make $400,000 a month. So I totally get why you would be skeptical. And that's why I make these income proof reports every month, where I report on how much I made. I share all my business expenses. I share what I take home, and I share what I give away. And I do this every month. If you would like to read them, here you go. What's a skeptic going to say to that? Then they're won over. They were expecting to be dismissed and hated and snapped back at in a rude way, because that's what most people do. And I'm like, oh no, I get it. Totally valid. Let me take all the air out of your balloon here by giving you my income reports. Very different, I will add. Trolls or haters are different, okay? I'll share a story that I'll just share it because it happened to me and it was super mean and I was really sad. So I made a reel, and it was like talking about like, okay, this is a question I get all the time, which is like, Maria, you are pretty. I am not. I can't make reels. Now, I am not saying I'm pretty. I'm saying this is a question I get, okay? I understand that looks are subjective. So I filmed a reel saying, if you feel like you are not pretty, or you feel like you don't look the way you need to look to grow on social media, I want you to find influencers who look like you and use them as the proof that you can do it. That anyone, whether you're pretty or not, can be successful, be a successful content creator that goes viral. So this reel of mine somehow got the attention of this group of guys who I don't understand what their motives were or why any of them took the time out of their day to like leave the comments they did. But they like took time out of their day to critique my looks. And we're basically like, if you're going to talk about pretty privilege, you should at least be pretty. Which like obviously wasn't the point of my reel. And it was answering a common question I legitimately get all the time. And it hurt my freaking feelings. And I just didn't give it any time of day. This is the first time I'm talking about it. Like, it was fine. It was like, I think it was like for 3 days, I had a bunch of guys commenting on all my YouTube videos and commenting on all my reels on Instagram, like, pretty privilege. What a joke. Like, really, I'm like, what are you guys doing with your life that you have time to be leaving mean comments about my appearance, which is my appearance is the least interesting thing about me. There are so many more interesting things about me than my freaking looks. And whatever, like, I think it just triggered them. Like, what I honestly think, if I'm being really honest, is like, I think my income stuff can be hard for some guys to process. And so if they can't tear down my financial success, they must tear down my looks, because God forbid a woman feel confident in herself. It's like one theory I have to why they were taking so much time out of their day. Long story short, people like that should just be ignored. I gave it zero attention. I didn't reply to a single one. I didn't delete a single one. Never delete your comments. Like, just let their own embarrassing comments sit there and embarrass themselves. That's kind of my philosophy on that. I don't know why this like one little hair is not wanting. Like, now I'm like all worried about my looks. But in general, like, trolls or haters should be ignored. Okay. Having said all that, my computer is literally freezing because of how long this video is. There's something that I think would be really helpful. I have made a lot of templates. Oh my God, this hair is going to drive me freaking crazy. Let's just move this over here. There we go. Oh my God, it wants to be the star of the show. All right. I've made templates for you, okay? Because basically what I did is I realized that there is some content and some formats, most importantly, some content formats that have a better chance of going viral than others. And this is based on me making content specifically on Instagram for 2 years straight. I've made content for 2 years straight. I've tried all the different angles, and I know which angles have a greater success of going viral no matter your industry. And so these students that I shared here, they use my templates. Again, you can see these are industries that are totally unrelated to business, industries that are totally unrelated to finance or social media. These are like gut health, narcissistic relationships, rodeo athletes getting, these templates I'm about ready to show you work for all industries. And what I love about that is it takes the guesswork out of you, because frankly, you probably don't have time. Like, for me, this is my full-time job. I have all the time in the world to sit here and experiment with all the different angles to go viral, but I was thinking maybe you don't. And so what I wanted to show you was just an option for you to use. And I want to show you kind of like what this looks like, okay? So this is what I made. It's a content planning spreadsheet, but then if you use the drop down, you can use all of these. So like faceless reel, insider knowledge, B-roll reel, intangible to tangible, faceless reels, extreme value, talking head reel, answering cues. These are all formats that work really well. And what you can literally do is like, okay, I'm going to do this one this day, this one this day. And then if you use my viral templates, you can actually just literally like input your words, your text, and it makes the content creation process so much easier. And it really, what it does is it takes the thinking out of it for you. Because that I think is like the tricky part, is the thinking. And so again, if you are feeling like, okay, I am super overwhelmed, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. You're probably like some of my students here. This is one of them. She used Maria's templates and got 1,500 likes when she normally gets 100 to 200. Again, there's that like 100x multiple that we're talking about. She says, in the past 3 days, Maria's templates have helped us generate $35,000 on organic sales. Recommend them 10 out of 10, especially if you feel like you're posting the same things over and over again. And then a different student, my reels are not going viral. Before 2K views max, now 15K. Super close again. 20,000 would have been her, no. That's 10x, that's a 10x. But still, going from 2,000 views to 15,000 views is certainly nothing to sneeze at. She says, I'm reaching non-followers with my reels and some are going viral. That's what we want. So again, these are what I call them. They're the viral Instagram content treasure chest. And basically what I created is 55 template tutorials that I use. These are the template tutorials that I use to make it even easier to go viral. So a lot of what we talked about in this video is done for you in these content template packs. So I did all the things we talked about, being remarkable, standing out. I did all of that for you. So you just have to enter in your info. So if you want to grab them, it's totally optional. You can kind of click that page. Here's a list of everything that you get. I'll put a link in the description. I highly recommend you grab them. You don't need to. You can do this all from scratch. Like everything we talked about, you can just do it all from scratch. But if you're one of those people where time is short, where you're not feeling like testing, 100 reels to get the one good one, you can certainly get a massive head start with these viral Instagram content treasure chest. Highly recommend it. I also included a bunch of video training. So if you like this training, there's a bunch more video trainings in here, how to write viral captions, even more stuff on ChatGPT to create viral content quickly, how to monetize your Instagram content, which is really nice. Specific stuff for like the new Instagram algorithm update. They just had a big update, which is particularly relevant for new, smaller content creators. You guys can get so much growth. It's like us bigger creators, we lost a lot of growth, so you guys could have it. So, and I'm happy for that. I think newer content creators have a bigger chance now more than ever to actually grow in a massive audience. So how to modify them for your industry. So again, like it's all very helpful. I highly recommend it, but it is optional. You can do this all from scratch if you want to. Otherwise, there is a link down in the description below. And I will see you around. Thank you so much for watching this. I love that you guys stuck it all the way to the end. Good job. Can't wait to see. I want to see your reels blow up. I want to see you be my next success story. I'm excited.